On the fact that our Kemetic African ancestors did not dismantle and reconstruct this temple. That was done contemporary times. UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. They're the ones who were involved in the relocation of this temple from its original island of Philae, that the Greeks called Philae, onto this island called Angelica Island. Okay, so this was not done in ancient times. This was a contemporary thing because had they not moved it, it would have been under the water. But again, as I said before, when the Greeks came in, they deified and worshiped African Kemetic deities. And one of the great ones, and that is the Shishada high priest, Kari high priest, was Imhotep. As we have continually said, this is where they named Asclepius after Imhotep. And as I said before, who is Imhotep's teacher? Imhotep's teacher was Tahuti. So one of the glyphs that we see up here is Tahuti. We see Imhotep with his wasket that we see that he's holding it right there. And we also see Imhotep right here. Okay, you see him right here. This is one of the few pictures and reliefs in Kemet that we have, at least carved in stone, of Imhotep, this multi-genius. An astrophysicist. Imhotep, what did he do? He built the step pyramid, the world's first stone building for his Nesu Zoser Neterket when we were in Saqqara. That's what we saw there. Now his tomb has never been found, so that clearly tells us to his genius that nobody's going to upset my Perteta or tomb of eternity. But again, he was also part of a spiritual triad. We know in Menefer the triad was who? Ptah, Sekhmet, and Nefertum. Mut was in Waset, where we left. So Imhotep was so powerful that he was incorporated into the triad as the son, the spiritual son of Ptah. So it became Ptah, Sekhmet, and Imhotep. In fact, the Greeks even worshipped him. So when we say that the Greeks, when they refer to Asclepius as the god, they're referring to Imhotep as a god of medicine. Even in Homer speaks of that Kemet that they refer to as Egypt surpassed the world in medical science that you equally saw in the books in stone when we were there. So again, the multi-genius Imhotep and all the things that he had done, that's what makes him a multi-genius long before some Michelangelo. When we think of a multi-genius, we think of Michelangelo being a multi-genius. But thousands of years before Michelangelo, we have here Imhotep. And one sister, when she was on the job or in the class rather at the university, the professor every day would come in and put down a Greek. He would put down Thales, and somebody would always have to put somebody else that would surpass that person. And I think he started with various Greeks, and every day they would come up, he'd write on the board, you know, maybe Archimedes, Socrates, and everybody else would have to come and surpass it. So she'd sit there, being the only African in her class, and watching this whole thing. And she walked up one day, and she put Imhotep, he who walks in peace, 5,000 years. Shut down the whole little thing. Nobody could pass Imhotep. So the class was over. It was closed out. All right. So that's the power when we talk about the time period of Imhotep. And I still impress that upon you. We still always got to grasp the time period that we're talking about here. Because everything that we were taught in Western academia, everything that we were taught in the seminary schools, okay, you know, these words are very similar, okay, did not exist yet when we're talking about the spiritual system of Imhotep. Now, we also, as I said before, always try to match the phenotype to show that we're still here.